Hi, everybody. Welcome to Rise in our Evolve Technology series, where we focus on the evolution of technology, innovation, and leadership.
Things have changed, yet we evolve and adapt. But what's next, and what's next for you? Evolve focuses on the intersection of leadership, technology, and workplace. Don't get left behind. Join us in this evolution. Rise and evolve with us.
I'm Kim Ford, your host, and I'd really like to introduce you to our special guest today. Could you please take a second to introduce yourself and your company?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Kim. So my name is Stefan Debois. I'm an engineer by education. And then afterwards, after graduating, I started in consulting. It started at Pricewaterhouse in time, that became then PwC, and then I switched to Computer Science Corporation. So I did consulting for enterprise systems, like large software systems that needed to be implemented in corporate, mostly manufacturing companies. So these systems were like SAP systems or Oracle ERP systems. And then I evolved from pretty according to the traditional career path, from consultant to project management and account management afterwards. And then at a certain point in time, that's maybe the nature of being an engineer. I wanted to create something myself, like a product, but also a business that could then sell and market that product. So the software, B2B software, was what I was working in my whole life at that moment. So that would be that was the first option, I would say. But it started, in fact, with a hobby project. Just to get me familiar with the technology, I created a quiz for my daughter's birthday. So that was the first day that iPad came out. So the quiz on the iPad was really fun, with pictures and video snippets and so. And afterwards, the participants received a score. So that worked well. And then I put tabletquiz.com live, like a tool where people could make their own quizzes. I've seen that at that moment, quite some companies started to use it. It was a free version, not yet paying. But then, we decided also to go from quizzes to surveys. Technically, there's not so much difference. And then also quit my job, and then start the company, which was then called Survey Anyplace. So focused on surveys. And then since then, that was 10 years ago, since then we have evolved towards assessments. And those are assessments with personalized reports. After you have taken, the respondent has taken the assessment, he or she gets a personalized report, which is dynamically constructed based on the answers that you give in the assessment. And then in the meanwhile, we also have changed our name to Pointerpro, because we wanted to get rid of the survey in the name, the word survey in the name. Because we did much more than surveys with the personalized reports. So now we are called Pointerpro, because we point your audience into the right direction.
Oh, awesome. So it sounds like you have a pretty strong consulting and tech background, and obviously those two have merged. So what makes you so passionate about technology?
Yeah, I think technology has the potential to let's say, to automate quite a bit of the routine jobs in companies today. So, and in that way, people can focus on more interesting, more creative jobs, just like automation has done in manufacturing. Technology and software can do the same in administrative environments. And there's still a lot to do, because like in manufacturing, the productivity has been increasing quite significantly. But in the service sector, there is already quite some things automated, but there is still a lot of potential for technology. I also think that technology can improve human relationships. Like I'm talking then about B2B relationships. It will never replace a relationship, but it can like facilitate relationships easier. For example, we have customers that are at the other side of the world that we have never seen face to face, but of course in video call we have seen them. That would be unimaginable, let's say 20 years ago, without these powerful technology tools.
No, that's incredible. And tech is often criticized for its social impact of depersonalizing the interaction itself. And what we're seeing is most businesses, leaders, they actually are demanding a digital first platform. The future is digital first. Obviously, we're not going to replace relationships or empathy or things like that. But how do you create a meaningful online interaction? Because that experience or that journey or those touch points, they're critical to making a successful application or online anything.
Yeah, I think in a world where like technologies, maybe also, or yeah, some of the companies, some of the competitors, some of the bigger companies, they become more impersonal, less personal because of technology, and maybe not only because of technology, but because they want to scale their business, and the human aspect, of course, I mean, it takes time, and human time equals cost. Yeah, we see it because we are like ourselves clients at like larger software companies or tech companies, and we don't have a lot of human contact with those companies, even not remote in video call or so. And that is, of course, an opportunity for smaller companies to have those meaningful contacts with clients and with other partners. And yeah, in that way, it differentiates. So we encourage our support people, salespeople, everybody who has contact with customers, but also if you have contacts with suppliers or employees amongst each other, to always favor like a physical meeting or at least a video call instead of chats or something more impersonal. So and that's I think that improves the human relationship on the long term, and I still think that you need human relationships to build a business, because people buy from people in the end.
Very true. When did you realize that consulting could go digital?
Yeah, as I said, like when I started the company with the quizzes and so on, and the surveys, we didn't have the focus on consulting or so. We just had to focus on improving the experience of the respondents, because in that time most of the survey tools were like kind of research-oriented data collection without a lot of focus on the respondent experience. So we wanted to improve that to add like gamification, interactivity, and so on. And by doing that, like collecting more and better data. So that was the beginning. But then after a while, we have seen that we were looking after a niche which would differentiate us even more. And then we came to the assessments with personalized reports. As I said, and I mean, it was mostly the clients who expressed that need. And first we started to develop it for them, like partially using our own software, partially using third-party software. It was not like a big idea or so that I had once at one particular moment. It was like pretty evolutive. Like the more customers asked for a similar solution, the more we realized that this could be a good candidate to put in a new product, which we then did at the start of 2019. So, and then the personalized reports were added to our tool.
Oh, that's great. And do you see a lot of potential benefits or negatives to implementing digitization to a process and those types of pieces of the puzzle?
Yeah, specifically for the consultants, of course, we see quite some benefits. I've been in consulting like for 15 years. Like the first phase in a consulting assignment is always about data collection and the as-is status, like seeing what the as-is situation is of the client. It's always the first step that you have to do because you need to be aware about the situation before being able to propose like improvements or a solution. But that is a phase where the customers, they don't want to invest too much time in it because, I mean, they already know what the as-is is. It has to go fast. And it's always like the same kind of diagnostics or like a scan or assessment. I mean, there's different words for it. But if you are in a certain consulting domain, like say that you are a cybersecurity consultant or consultant firm, the cybersecurity as-is assessment or whatever you call it is always more or less the same. So that's a good candidate to be digitized. Which has then the advantage that for the customer, the process will be faster. Yeah? So the real benefit for the customer is only after the as-is, when the improvements are like implemented or like discussed, and then that that the real project starts. So that moves then forward, which is a benefit. And then also for the consultants, I think it's a benefit because they can, by investing less in labor and more in an automated tool to make the assessments, they can move from a time and material model where they just go proportionally with their headcount to like a result-based model where they can go like more than linear with their headcount. So, which is in fact the dream of every consultant, to grow their business, of course, but to not without having to recruit people all the time.
Yeah, very true. And how do you overcome the challenges of what I would consider a growing resource library, right? There's this huge resource library for free consulting, information, data. I mean, I think it's hard to separate yourself in that pack, right? I mean, there's just, you Google something and you look for consulting this or how to do this or how to solve this problem. And there's just this robust amount of data at your fingertips. Like, how does a consultant right now really break through to do something different or to really provide an impact?
Yeah, so there is indeed like an overload of data and information. But by personalizing that data for the for your prospect or your audience, that is in my view the best way to differentiate yourselves and to make the data more accessible for the end user. So for example, if I take again the cybersecurity example. If you are looking if you're a normal company like ours, let's say, you're looking for, you read all these news articles about companies get hacked and so on, and you want to do something to improve your cybersecurity, you go online and then see what can be done. Of course, you have a lot of information, but let's say that you land on a website of a cybersecurity consulting firm and that you see a white paper. You download it. It's 50 pages, but I've no time to read those 50 pages. What I want as a business owner from a cybersecurity consultant is just to give me a plan step by step what I have to do, first step, second step, what is my priority, first advice, second advice, third advice, and you cannot have that in one generic white paper or book or whatever. So you have to ask me first a couple of questions about my as-is situation, maybe some other questions, and then you can, based on the answers of those questions, you can give me not a white paper of a generic white paper of 50 pages, but maybe a specific white paper of 3 pages where exactly the things that I have to do are prioritized, and then I will be interested in reading it.
Yeah, and do you believe or do you have any thoughts on AI? And do you think artificial intelligence could at some point impact the consulting business at all?
Yeah, sure. What we are doing right now, we first want to develop our software, and it may sound counterintuitive, but without AI, and just make it very easy to transfer human intelligence into the tool. So again, the cybersecurity consultant, like he has a lot of intelligence or expertise in his head, in his or her head, and to get it out of their head and put it in the tool. That is something that we want to make very easy. So you don't need programming or technical knowledge to do that, whether it be in cybersecurity or legal or whatever. I mean, whatever expertise you have, so that you have a tool that can partially replace yourself, and that can give advice on autopilot based on your expertise. Of course, you have to put your expertise in the tool only once at the start. But then in the second phase, you could also, and then AI will come into the play. You could also, like the extracting of the expertise from someone's head, or like expert, or collective expertise of multiple consultants, and putting that in a tool, converting that into an assessment with a personalized report, automate also that step, which will involve AI. And we have already scanned the market, not that deeply because we think it's a bit too early to do that. But that would be the next step. AI will, or an AI tool will, for example, in a cybersecurity consultant will attend some of the meetings, will read some of the books, and will automatically come up with those questions to ask and which advice to give. But that's, again, it's not for the immediate future as we see it now.
Yeah, very, very true. So we have a lot of business leaders, owners, CEOs that listen to our and watch our videos. And one of the things I like to ask is, do you have any advice right now for a CEO or business owner today? What would be one piece of advice you would share?
Yeah, I think for when it comes to digitization, I would do like a scan or like a diagnostics for all your parts of the business, because some parts of the business are already digitized like quite heavily, and some less. And to indicate what is the potential gain, to digitize certain parts of the business even more, or start to digitizing it depending on the situation. That is what I would suggest. Specifically for professional services companies, if you have like highly transactional type of advice that you have to give over and over again to new prospects or to existing customers, then that would certainly be a candidate to be digitized with our tool. Then, I mean, or with another tool, but it also can be that, of course, the scan reveals that other parts of the business might benefit more from digitization, and then you should start with that part, of course.
Yeah, very, very true. And our goal with this Evolve Technology series is to really enable leaders to learn, connect, and grow using technology and innovation. And I can't thank you enough for talking to all of us today and sharing your wealth of knowledge and expertise. And thank you so much.
Yeah, and thank you, Kim, for having me. And for those who want to follow me, I'm most active on LinkedIn. So you can just come and send a connection request. Also happy to exchange ideas or experience with your listeners. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much.